Hallelujah. Praise God. All right. Okay, so today, I'm happy there's slightly more time. I didn't even get up to half of my notes yesterday, but I'm happy that I have some more time today. I really want to recommend books. Again, like I say, Pastor Larry, you know why we have successful doctors and they are not successful in marriage? We have successful lawyers, they're not successful in marriage. The reason is simple. They're successful in their career because they spend 7 years, 6 years studying that career. Then they struggle in marriage because most of these people spend 0 years studying marriage. So it's very simple. There's no mystery to it. Where you invest is where you harvest. Where you invest is where you harvest. It's very simple. Check anything you are doing well. You find out you've put investment in that area. Because most times we spiritualize everything. That, oh God, what have I done? No, you've just not learned. God is not against you. Life is not against you. Where you invest is where you harvest. So, invest in books on marriage. If I stay here for 1 year, I won't finish everything I know on marriage. Praise God. So, I want to recommend a few books. Wow, there's so much to cover. If you're a guy here, all the men, can I hear an amen? Yeah, not so encouraging, but we might manage it. If you're a single guy in particular, you need to get 7 qualities wise men want. I discovered that many men don't know what to look out for in a wife. All right? It's part of what I'm going to share today. Many men make the common mistake. When men are going to pick wives, they first look for beauty. And it's instinctive. It's natural with us. The first thing you're looking at is how fine the girl is. You're looking at her shape, her definitions, the statistics. Somebody getting what I'm saying? But that is exactly what God said not to do. He said beauty is vain. He said charm is deceitful. He said instead look out for the woman that fears the Lord. But the men do it the back way, the other way around. They focus on beauty. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So here I dealt with the 7 qualities wise men want. You see, your needs, I'm jumping into my message before time. But one of the things you need to learn is that there's a difference between your wants and your needs. The wants are the ones that excite you. The needs are the ones that sustain you. Somebody didn't get that. I said the wants excite you. The needs sustain you. At the beginning, you are more interested in what excites you. But when you enter the main thing, you are more interested in what sustains you. Let me give you an example. I'm a car lover. I'm a total car enthusiast. And thank you for the protocol, guys. You've been carrying us with good cars. Praise God. But I'm not deceived. After the program, I'll go back to whatever my real car is. That's a shock many people face after dating and marriage. Because dating, the guy is just mesmerizing you. When you enter marriage, a different reality. So I'm this dating stage. In House on the Rock, after I finish preaching, I'll go back to reality of my real car. All right, but I'm a car lover. So when you're looking at cars, you are first usually attracted by how fine this car looks. Now, if you live in an area where the road is really bad, no matter how fine a Ferrari looks, you see, it can attract you, but it can't sustain you if you live there. It won't make it. After 1 or 2 trips, you are the one that will be carrying the car. I have friends that used to live in those kind of areas. Their bumper is always in their boot because it has fallen off many times. So at the beginning, you are moved by what excites you, but in reality, it is what sustains you that will count. So please, guys, every man here, 7 qualities wise men want. This one, too, is titled 7 Questions Wise Women Ask. All the ladies, can I hear an amen? I trust women, they will do better than the guys. 7 questions. So if you're a single lady, 7 questions wise. If you're a wise woman, you need to ask these 7 questions. If you're a wise woman, ask these 7 questions. Now, all the questions here, you might not ask them like in job interview questions. Some of them are even yourself, you ask. You would observe the answer, not ask it. You observe it. 7. One of the questions here is if a guy is saying, I want to marry you, I'm interested in you. One of the questions you must ask is when. Come on, ladies, say when. Yes, so ask when. Many people have entered indefinite dating. Women don't enter, let's see how it goes. Most guys that are serious already have a plan. Don't let somebody just string you along indefinitely. You see, the reason is that for a woman, your timing is different from that of a man. So don't let anybody waste your time. Women put themselves in those positions all the time. Don't do that. A man can marry at 42 and everything's fine. For a woman, if you marry at 42, there are a lot of things you are going to have to deal with, including childbirth. Are you here, somebody? And a guy at 42 is even more attractive. It doesn't reduce in attraction. If a man is 42 and is doing well, he's more attractive. If a woman is 42, the people eligible to marry you are greatly reduced. I don't know if I get what I'm saying. A man at 42, the people he can marry now have increased. When he was 22, he could only marry 22 down. Now he's 42, he can marry from 42 to even 20. His options have what? Increased. Your own options have what? Reduced. So you don't let anybody just keep you wasting. I want to marry you. Yes, when? Because the timing might not work for me. For instance, for a lady here at 25, somebody wants to marry you in 7 years' time. Does that work for you? Does work for me? Do you understand this? So ask when. Because when we determine nobody enters university and say, how many years is this course? So let's see how it goes. No! Everybody starts, vision is the key to provision. Everything starts with a vision. If we're going to be here 4 years, then our body language will show. If we're going to be here 3 years, we'll see the body 2 years. There are some things we have to start making plans for. Don't let anybody keep you indefinitely. Somebody get what I'm saying? So always ask when. I knew a friend of mine, and this is not a joke, it's just reality. Dated first person for about 10 years. They didn't marry. Dated another one for about 10 years. They didn't still marry. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. When they keep you like that, it's a disadvantage to you. So I want to marry you when? When are you looking at? That's one of the ways you know who is serious and who is not. Praise God. I don't want to waste too much time. That's not even part of the message. Hey, I want to recommend, when am I ready? I'll talk a bit about this in the course of the message today, so let me just keep that aside. 25 wrong reasons. I mentioned that yesterday. It will help your mind. See, succeeding in marriage, there are so many little things that come together to make a marriage great. So when you marry for the right reason, it's very important. If you marry for the wrong reason, you have most likely married the wrong person. I've said that over and over again. Marry for the right reason. Some people marry for self-imposed deadlines. One of the points here. You know self-imposed deadlines? 2021. Must not pass me by. Nobody put you under that. You're the one that set that deadline. So by the time it's November, anybody goes. Sofana man. You know Sofana man? You don't know Sofana man? Sofana man. November, we're in the deadline. One lady I counseled many years ago. She goes to one of the popular churches that have a yearly convention. And she said, by next convention, I must be married. As the convention was getting closer, she was panicking. So she now met one more that is a fraudster, not born again. And I told her, look, the only reason why I want to marry this guy is to meet your deadline. Cool down, do proper counseling, do proper investigation. She didn't agree. Of course, they are divorced now. Marry for the right reasons. My wife has this book here, Kail, Secret of Affirmation. That. Then she has a book I want to recommend. It's also based on Kail Prayer Journal. So it's basically titled, How to Pray for Your Husband. So if you are married, or you are going to marry soon, or you are in a serious relationship, this will help you. One of her secrets is prayer. She'll talk a bit about that too in the evening. You must learn how to pray. Then Hannah's had that devotional. If you are trusting God, fruit of the womb, this devotional will help you. We waited 8 years to have our first biological child. Then the all year round, Pastor mentioned it. What all year round this is me coaching you. Me coaching you. And there are 52 tips for 52 weeks. So basically all year round, I'll be giving you tips on what to do to your spouse all year round. You don't want to miss it. But I coach the men, my wife coached the women. All right, so you'll be getting tips. You also get it by email. We'll remind you in case you don't remember to check it. We'll remind you every week, this is what to do this week. This is how to love your wife this week. You know, when we say love your wife, love your husband, it's so vague. That's why people don't do it. In fact, sometimes they do it, but they're doing what they love, not what their spouses love. So this is coaching. So this is like you're hiring me to talk to you, you know, every week for free. Not so free, but cheap compared to having me physically. Praise God. So it's a good book for couples to get together as a gift, all year round for men, all year round for women. And you can buy it as a gift for your friends or family or people. It comes with lapel pin, pen, some other things, accessories that make it beautiful. The last one I'll talk about before I go into today's message is, okay, I've talked about who should I marry yesterday, yeah? A to Z of marriage. Come on, say with me, A to Z of marriage. You're not sounding enthusiastic. A to Z of marriage. These are our bestsellers. It's very easy to read, very simple. My wife wrote this book. I wrote for the men. I wrote to the women, telling them how to love the men. And my wife wrote to the men, telling them how to love the women. It's our best-selling book. And we did it in alphabetical order, so it's easy to remember, easy to flow with. A here, I told the men, A for women is attention. Women like attention. You see, Pastor, the reason why these things are important, I try to break these things down to applicable level. When you say love your husband, what does that mean? The woman just thinks, okay, it means go and cook soup. No, it might not be so. So we broke into practical terms in alphabetical. So if you read these things, you don't even have to be so creative. I've done all the work. Just cut and paste. Do you understand? So I told the men that women like attention. I told the men. My wife told the men, women like attention. So basically, you can't have a woman and not. See, everything about women is built for attention. Their clothes. You notice that it has figure. The colors, even their hair. Everything is for women is built around attention. So, and many men, that's the thing, very thing that men don't give. If you are married to a woman, you must give her attention. When she walks into a room, you need to notice her. Leave whatever you're doing and welcome her. Don't just say, you're looking at her, you just say, welcome. No. Leave. It's just, see, women are not hard. I tell you, women are hard. Women are very fertile. If you invest little in them, you reap much. Very fertile. It's just that, hallelujah. It's just the commitment to plant that little. Many men are too lazy to do it. It's little. When you plant small, that's why where woman is, if you give her a sperm, she gives you a child. If you give her groceries, she gives you food. If you give her a house, she gives you a home. If you give her trouble too, she'll multiply it also for you. She multiplies. So that small thing you would do will go a long way. Give her attention. When she comes in, drop whatever I do, welcome her, hug her. Attention. Notice her. She makes her hair. I put a video on my page this morning. My wife was braiding my, doing all back for me in my hair. So I said, and when I was sitting down there, she was doing it. It took a long time, and even my bum was paining from sitting down. And I said, I now understand why it pains women after they make their hair for hours, and the man doesn't notice. See, it's a crime. That should be punishable by 6 months imprisonment. You must give attention. Notice her. Very simple. When you're talking to her, look at her. Women love attention. They crave it. They live for it. It's everything. All their life is structured around getting attention. Very important. All right? And for those of you that are fathers in the house, also please give your daughters attention. Very important. They should be well fed with attention before they leave the house. Many girls today that are stripping naked and doing different things because they didn't get enough attention at home. So they are seeking it outside. So fathers, give your daughters attention. There's a difference between sons and daughters. What they need is different. All right? Sons need example. Daughters need affection and attention. Men learn by what they see. Women learn by what they hear. We're going to talk a bit about that also tomorrow. But let me not go ahead of myself. So attention. For the women, my wife coached the women to understand that men need acceptance. That's A. We're just on letter A. Acceptance. Men love acceptance. You see, men thrive better where they are accepted. Every man is a natural warrior. The best way to change him is not to confront him. If you confront him, he's going to react by fight. He's a natural fighter. Men fight for everything they have. Oh, women, all you need to do to get things to look pretty. In this world, if you are beautiful as a woman, everybody is sympathetic to women. Some of my guys were coming to my office for a meeting. Their car broke down the road. 3 guys, 1 girl. The 3 guys were on the road stopping people. Nobody stopped. You see 3 men stopping on the highway. So this one, they're armed robbers. Nobody stopped. So they developed sense. The 3 guys went inside the car. The lady came out. The lady came out. About 3 cars stopped. Only to find out that there are other 3 guys in the car. Say, help us. Help us. So men are used to fighting. So when you want to influence a man, the worst thing you can do to him is to confront him. He's going to be defensive. Instead, accept him first. Once he sees you on his side, he will take advice better. Men need acceptance. That's why, if you see the clap, thank you for the 2 people clapping there. Thank you. That's why if you see the places men like to hang out, it's the places where there's total acceptance. Men like to hang out in bars. In a bar where people are drinking, there's a total acceptance. Everybody's drunk. There's nothing you can't get away with saying in the bar. Nothing. If you say, I killed my mother, you'll say, you're a bad guy. Give me one more shot. That's it. Nobody's going to judge you there. Men like places where there's acceptance. They crave it. Because as hard as we are, our egos too are very soft. Acceptance. So if your husband is the type or your man is the type that eats loudly, your job is not telling him, see, I eat like a bushman. No. Tell him, hey, honey, I like the way you enjoy your food. This is why I like cooking for you. You enjoy food. He will say, no, thank you. His defenses are down. Then we say, but you know that for the kind of role you will play, when we go out to eat outside, you can't eat like this. People will just think you're just being bush. They won't know that it's just that you enjoy food. And you drop that seed there and leave it. You leave it. Those of you that are married, you've discovered that when you try to change your husband by force, he resists. Even when you are right, and he even knows you are right. He resists. Praise God. So A to Z of marriage, please rush it. You can't miss it. There are just a few copies, so make sure you rush it. It's easy to read. You can read it even before you get home today. You can finish it. Praise God. All right, so let me start a bit today. Today I'm talking about, I'll continue a bit from what I was saying yesterday. So it starts by being. So I'm going to give you about 6 points today. So number 1, being. Write being. B-E-I-N-G. Succeeding in marriage starts by being. Not by doing. It starts by being. Not by choosing. It starts by being. Being first. Being the right person. Not looking for the right person. Being the right person. You see, the quality of the omelette is always determined by the quality of the eggs. Don't say marriage is bad. No. It's your marriage that has issues, not marriage. Marriage as an institution is perfect, beautiful. We told you yesterday, it's the work of art. Something that was one, you separate it so that it can come again together to be one willingly again. It's such a work of art. And it reflects that relationship between us and the church. If you see in Ephesians 5, the way they were jumping from marriage to church, back to marriage to church, it was beautiful. If you appreciate art. Hallelujah. So it starts by being. What's the quality of person that you are? There are about 7 areas every human being needs to develop. They are all in Proverbs 31. There are 7 areas every human being needs to develop. Number 1 is spiritually. So who are you? Being the right person spiritually. You see, the whole context and concept of marriage is actually for spiritually minded people. Marriage is not a carnal creation. It wasn't started by bloggers or by talk show hosts. Because those are the things influencing many young people today. People are struggling with submission, with covenant, with agreement, with different things because they are listening to a lot of things on the internet. You need to realize that it's not those people that started marriage, it was God that started marriage. We always need to go back to the owner's manner, to the creator's manner. What did he have in mind when he made marriage? So there are about 7 areas you need to develop yourself. It's about you. The first one, like I said, is spiritual development. Marriage is spiritual. You can't do the demands of marriage in your flesh. It was never designed to walk by the flesh. It's difficult for the man that is living by his instincts and his natural desires to succeed in marriage. So you see the Bible says, beauty is vain, charm is evil. A woman that fears the Lord, she shall be praised. On that area you need to develop yourself is mentally. The quality of decisions you make. Your shape can attract a man, but it's being sharp that will keep the man. Unfortunately, many people spend more time in the cosmetics. They spend more time developing the outward than the inward. Mentally. On that area you need to develop yourself is socially. What are your basic social skills? Can you carry on conversations? Do you understand emotional intelligence? Do you understand that people have feelings? Do you understand that people sometimes react based on their feelings? Do you know how to notice whether somebody is happy or sad? Do you know how to notice what is important to somebody and what is not important? Emotional intelligence. On that area is financially. Money has always ranked as one of the top things that causes divorce. Your money habits. If you are broke now, marriage is not your savior. I mean, how are you running your finances now? Can you take care of yourself financially? Or are you trying to marry your way into prosperity? Financial skills. Can you sustain yourself financially? And a few other areas. Basically, I'm talking about who you are as a person. Being, developing yourself. Consciously investing in yourself. And who you are is determined by what you are putting inside you. What quality of information are you putting inside you? I talked about yesterday about how you can't be in a good church like this and not be in a service unit. It doesn't make any sense. Because service is what we do in marriage. Practicing for free. Your church is helping you practice for free. It was very easy to love my wife. You know why? I was loving thousands of people that didn't even necessarily have to reciprocate. So loving one person that was even reciprocating, very easy. Are you here, somebody? Easiest thing. And I could never have liked, for me, I could never have liked a lady that wasn't serving in church. Never. Never. Because I understood my life was about service. When you come to a church like this, do you know all the units and all the people serving you? Do you know, I mean, from the car park, somebody's helping you park your car. If you have kids, somebody will take your kids from you. By the time you come to church, somebody has arranged this place and cleaned this place. They've even put your envelope for offering on your table, on your chair. All these guys that play music, they've rehearsed for hours. Just to minister to you. This guy is standing here with their fine pants. They are standing for you. I hope so. Everybody's serving you. Somebody's putting scriptures on the screen. Somebody's holding camera. Do you know the amount of people serving only you? Then you attend this church for years, for months, and you are not serving. You are our God. It's you we are worshiping. It's called service because we all come to serve. Came to serve our king. But when you are not doing anything, it seems you are the king. Service. Because serving breaks you. You learn how to do things when you don't feel like. Your HOD or head of department will shout at you sometimes. And you will stomach it. In fact, sometimes you feel you're smarter than your HOD. I know more than him. I even senior him at work. But you learn humility. You see, there's no way we can form character in you without experiences like this. Character is not something they teach you. Life is the experience. You don't know if you are not a thief until you have opportunity to steal now. How do you say I'm not a thief? We don't know. We have never been tested. It's when you see money and nobody will know and you don't take it, then we know you are not a thief. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So who you are. Number two. So number one is being. For that, I recommend the book, When Am I Ready? People ask me that, Pastor, when am I ready? I'm 42. I'm ready. Go and check this book first. Let's be sure you're ready. You're not ready by age. Maturity is not by age. There are some men at 40, they are immature. There's some boys at 20, and they are mature. So I dealt with that. When am I ready? Do you have a purpose for your life? Because you need a purpose for life for a partner for life. So when am I ready? Second point, choosing. Choosing. So number one being, number two, choosing. Choosing means you are now training your eyes to know the qualities to look out for in a spouse. Training your eyes. You don't have to date 30,000 times before you find the right one. You don't have to kiss many frogs before you find the prince. My wife was the first person I ever dated as a Christian. First ever. First ever. I don't have to do many trial and error. If you know what to look out for, you can get it right the first time. Are you here, somebody? You can get it right the first time. Choosing. So what are you looking at when you are choosing? Train your eyes. Listen, people, you must differentiate between your wants and your needs. I mentioned that earlier. Separate between your wants and your needs. Your wants are the ones that excite you. Your wants are the ones that your friends will clap for you for. Your needs are the ones that nobody sees, but they ultimately determine your happiness. Somebody getting what I'm saying? For men, like I mentioned earlier, the beauty. Oh, she's tall, she's pretty. When you get married, peace of mind will have more value to you than beauty. Many men don't know that one of your major needs is peace. You won't know now. Because you're not living with a woman. One of your major needs is what? Peace. Solomon, I have two major mentors. My first mentor is God in marriage coaching. God. The second mentor is Solomon. Solomon has done research that even Harvard has not done. Solomon married 300 wives, 700 babes. And he died of natural causes. That is a miracle. That is a miracle. That's a research. Even Harvard have not done that research. So anything Solomon tells you about marriage, take it. That guy is Professor Emeritus. He knows what he's saying. He knows what, so I don't play with Solomon. So one of the things Solomon said about marriage, he said, look, when you marry a contentious woman, as a man, you go and live in the wilderness. In another place, said, when you marry a difficult woman, you go and live on the roof. Then you rather live on the corner of the roof than stay in that house. Meaning, peace of mind is a major need for men. But many of them don't know it. When they're looking for, I like her, she's so beautiful, her hair is so long. What is this? They are good for the outside. But in the marriage, peace. You will cherish your peace. Remember, you're a warrior as a man. You fight for contracts, fight for job, fight for position, fight for everything. Then you come home where you want to rest. You now continue fighting. Peace of mind. So separate your wants and your needs. They are different things. Really know what you... Many women say things like, oh, I can't marry a man that is not a graduate. No. What you really need is a man that is intellectually compatible. Not one that has paper. Paper is not what makes somebody smart. There are some people that are graduates and you can't stand them. Some people are graduates, you can't have a simple conversation, a meaningful, because of the way they are thinking. So to say I can never marry a graduate means you couldn't have married Bill Gates. Means you couldn't have married people like Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, and now Instagram. So you can't say that. What you actually mean, you see, is that you are looking for somebody that is intellectually what? Compatible. So differentiate your needs and your wants. What exactly am I looking for? I'm looking for somebody I can trust. You see, what is a certificate at the end of the day? It is, number one, guaranteed income. Many times they measure it to mean your future is secure. Have you? Paper. Although that has changed today, have you? But that was the background. It means you have a profession. That's what they mean. Secondly, they also want to assume that it means that you are intellectually sound. All those things are not true today. Am I correct? So go to the real thing you want. Is this guy, can I trust his sense of reasoning? Because there are some graduates that make dumb decisions. So can I trust his sense of reasoning? Does he have enough guarantee to make it financially? When I married my wife, she had a master's degree. I had OND. You know OND? O is ordinary. The O is ordinary. The N there is Nigeria, national. When something is ordinary in Nigeria, you know how low that is. I had OND. She had master's degree. Because when people talk about, oh, I can't submit to this man, I wonder what people are talking about. I and my wife were actually the same set in secondary school. We never met. We never spoke to each other. We were in the same set. In the same school. But we never met. She was born again from secondary school. I was born against. So our paths never crossed in secondary school. In the whole 6 years we were together. We never spoke to each other, interestingly. Because I was a very, very, very bad boy and I hardly go to class. As you heard from my story yesterday of running marathon. Hardly was in class. So our paths never crossed. So I'm just trying to say that she has enough reason not to be respectful. We were mates in secondary school. After life, she has masters. I had OND when we married. So she has all the grounds to look down at me. Or on me. Is somebody getting it? But yet we've not had the first stress about respect in my house. She's incredibly respectful. I even ask her sometimes, so with all these mad things I do sometimes, how do you still respect me? Maybe she will share some of her secrets in the evening. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So what do you really want? If financial security is a real thing, But you need to know exactly what you're looking at. Because that guy that has so-and-so certificate might not be secure. Is somebody getting this? Number 3, let me move. Knowing. So number 1, being. Number 2, choosing. Knowing what you're actually looking for. Separating your needs from your wants. Very important. Your wants, I want him to be tall. That's great want. Your need is I want him to be reliable. To be faithful. What do you want, a tall man or a faithful man? Tall one is good for pictures. I know. Faithful one is good for life and for marriage. Your real happiness is not determined by his height. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? You need to break the castles in your mind. Some of you, that's what's stopping you. We said yesterday, your emotions don't control themselves. Your emotions are always playing tricks on you. Always playing tricks on you. There are many things you think you can't take that you will take if your perspective changes. I can't take it, I can't. You can. If we can change your way of thinking. Are you here, somebody? We can change it. The man said, I can never wash plate. I can never carry things for my wife, sleep with my wife. If your wife is Kamala Harris, if she's the Vice President of the United States, I don't know, tell her, no, honey, you can't be washing plate now. You know that. Perspective will change immediately. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? Perspective will change. There are many things you can do. Your mind is just stop playing tricks on you. Number 3, knowing. Knowing what marriage is about. One of the constant things we see in marriages that don't work is that they avoid premarital counseling. So as a standard, I know your church has principles here. As a standard, please go through whatever the processes are. You see, processes don't stop you. They help you screen when people are not serious. Follow due process. Many people make the mistake of when they're in love, they think, we're in love, we don't need counseling. We don't even need any advice. Our love will sustain us. Big joke. It's not love that makes marriage work. Some of all the marriage that has ever failed, go and check wedding picture. Did they say I hate you? Was that what they said that they did? They all said I love you. So, knowing, what do you know about marriage? Don't dabble into it. Do proper premarital counseling. Perhaps in a multitude of counselors, there is what? Safety. Understand submission. These are things that are big today, but they are not so big scripturally. If you understand what the Bible is saying, understand submission. Women today, a lot of women are fighting it. That why should a woman submit to a man? We are not slaves. And that is very true. Submission is not slavery at all. That's not the concept and the context. We must always go back to the Creator. Why and how did He say these things should be? When God was talking about submission, He wasn't necessarily saying that a woman has no voice. No, that's not. God can never say that. He was not saying that a woman is inferior to a man. God can never say that. What God is saying is this. In the original context, a man is the one that should initiate a family so that he will be responsible for it. Anything you give a man that he doesn't initiate, he will run away from it. He will leave the responsibility for you. Men and women are very different. I'll talk about this a lot tomorrow. You notice that women blame themselves for everything. Men never blame themselves for anything. I will just study this tomorrow. Women blame themselves for everything. Women are incredible. I love how God made women. Thank God for women. Our lives would have been horrible without them. I'm telling you. Thank you for the 2 people clapping there. Thank you. Women blame themselves for everything. Women are incredible. A woman's husband will cheat on her. She will still blame herself. I think I've not been doing my part. I think I'm not fine enough. I have to lose more weight. Listen, men cheat because they want to cheat. It has nothing to do with you. Are you getting this? Go and blame themselves for everything. I put a video yesterday or so where I was talking about David and Abigail and how Abigail respected David so much. And somebody still wrote there. But after that, he's still married on that person. You're developing yourself is not necessarily that your husband will never cheat. That's not what it is. Because he has his own decisions to make as an adult. Stop blaming yourself. Women blame themselves for everything. When things go wrong, the first instinct a woman has to blame herself. That's how she was made. She's wired that way. She just think, I'm not good enough. And men, you must understand, that's why you need to know everything you do affects a woman's self-esteem. She blames herself. Anything that happens, even when it's clearly the man's fault, the woman first take the blame. Maybe it's the way I'm behaving. Maybe I wasn't. And she's always looking for how to be better. Men, on the other hand, even when it's clearly their fault, they will first blame on that person. Adam, have you eaten the fruit I told you not to? He said, it's the... I'm not there. I'm not among. It's the woman. No matter what happens, the man doesn't want to blame himself. Women always compare themselves to the best. Men compare themselves to the worst. You don't want to miss tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. That's why a lot of the high school fees is women that are empowering it. Once a woman hears that, how much your children's school fees? Says 3 million. My own is 2 million. She'll say that means your school. She will go home and go and tell her husband, we need to change. Women always compare themselves to the best. When they see any hair, bone straight. It's the radio. Shh. Men, on the other hand, compare themselves to the worst. I don't know why. You tell the man, you're always staying out late. You're coming back 11 o'clock. The man will say, but I'm better than Mr. So-and-so. He doesn't sleep at home. He doesn't sleep in the house. Men are always comparing themselves to the worst. Men and women are different. You will enjoy it tomorrow. Don't miss it. Men and women are different. Always comparing themselves to the worst. So I see our children's school. It's always says, what I'm saying, your children are not even going to school. Always going down. To the worst. Women are always comparing themselves to the best. So many women put their husbands under pressure because somebody has done something. See that man, he bought his wife a car. All men are going to be under pressure. Because she will compare herself to the best. So women, stop blaming yourselves for what you didn't do. Amen. So you need to know more. So submission, I was talking about submission. So the context is this. Number one, a man is supposed to initiate the family. All right? He's supposed to take the lead. Not because he's smarter. It's because he's the initiator. That's what the Bible said. Therefore, shall what? A man leave his father and mother to go and start another family. He's the initiator. It's not the woman that goes around to start looking for men. It's the man that initiates. So that's why he is taking the lead. It's not, see, being the head doesn't mean superiority. No. It's just a matter of order. If we're driving in a convoy, and only Pastor Larry knows the way, it's obvious he's going to be in front. He might not be smarter than us in driving. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? It's more a matter of order. So he initiates the family. Second thing you need to note about submission is, as a woman, God didn't say you should submit to all the men worldwide. He said, you choose. So the power is really with you, not with the man. You choose. Why are Nigerians leaving Nigeria to Canada? We have president here. But somehow, you would rather go and submit to the president of Canada. That's what you're saying. You kind of trust the decisions. That's all you're saying. But you're still going to submit there. Oh. The difference is that you would rather submit there. That's all we're saying. You will pay tax here, you will pay tax there. The difference is that you have faith that the tax you're paying there, that's all you're saying. You are voting with your leg. That's all you're doing. So submission is not submit to all the men you see on the road. No. They are saying, look, who do you have faith will take care of you? That's what submission is. Submission is, look, who do you have faith to take care of you? Then allow the person to take care of you. I don't know if somebody understood that. Submission is, who do you think will take care of you? When you find the person, allow the person You need to trust the person. So women will understand this. You go to a salon. There are 5 hairdressers there. Or let's even say there are 5 salons there together. You choose the one you feel will take care of you. Once you get there, you will now submit to everything they say. So you're here to make your hair. Write your name there. You go without arguing. This is a woman that doesn't submit at home. Write your name there. She writes it now. Sit here. She sits here. 1 hour. You have to wait for 1 hour. She waits. Come to sit down here. She come. Bend your head back. She bend. Bend the front. You bend. But you're submitting. You know why you're submitting? You're submitting because you trust that they're taking care of you. You're submitting. That submission is not slavery. It's willingly. You are the one that you chose among all the... You're not submitting to all the hairdressers. You're submitting to the one you feel will take care of you. You chose that one. The moment you choose, you submit. The power is really with you. Same thing. There are many churches here in PORTHARCOURT. The day you chose House on the Rock, you are saying, I trust that my needs, my spiritual needs, my relationship needs, everything will be met here. Once you come, you start submitting. Park here. You park. Go this way. You go. Sit here. You sit. Let's stand down, sing. You stand. Let's sit now, hear the word. You say, let's give offering. You are submitting. Every human being is submitting. When you're on the highway, the police says stop. You stop. Traffic light say move. You move. Last man says, you are submitting. But you suddenly get to the marriage and submission becomes a curse word. Submission becomes a threat. It's not a threat. The only way life can work is by submission. Even the president submits to his baba. Don't like this. Your president. If he wants to look good, though. If he wants to look good, the day he chose the baba, he must submit to the baba. Submission is not a threat. The key is that submit to the person you trust. Don't just go and marry anybody then start fighting the principle. That why are you submit? You are the one. You didn't read the document before. Choose who you trust. All men are submitting. If your wife is the one cooking for you, you are submitting. And you are trusting because you don't know what she puts in the food. Can kill you in an instant. All she needs for patience is to give her something. Somebody getting what I'm saying? Submit. It's not. And now, another beautiful thing about this is that have you noticed that it's mainly women that complain about submitting? And I don't know how they conveniently look at those pieces of scripture and pick out only one aspect. That's not what the Bible didn't. God is so balanced. God didn't come and say women submit and he left. No, God painted a picture. He gave both sexes or both genders an assignment. I never hear men complain about their own. Even though they don't do it all the time, but they don't complain. The large conversation is about the women's side. Because they did it one side, lopsided. It's not lopsided. What happens is this. God said, husbands, love your wife. He said, wife, allow him love you. That's what submission is. Husbands, love your wife. Wives, please allow him love you. So it was never just you God gave instructions to. He gave instructions to the man. So when you are choosing, look for a man that loves you. If the man cares about you, for instance, I brought my wife here. She knows that of love. So it's no struggle. I don't want to go. No. That's what is love. God told the man to. He didn't just say love emotionally. He said love the way Christ loved the church, giving it, putting himself, killing himself for it. If the man loves you, submission can never be hard. You know that even when he's telling you something you don't understand, you know it's for your good. It's exactly the way we relate with God. The love instructions in God's word that is hard. But you know that God is never saying it from a place of wickedness. He's saying it for your good. Even the times you've disobeyed, you later found out that God was right. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? That's what submission is about. It's not one person punishing you. Submission is not slavery. And for men, you need to understand, men, when God says you are the head, being the head is not about authority, it's about responsibility. It means you are responsible for this woman. Do you understand what that is? You are responsible for her well-being. That's why you are called the husband. Husbandry is talking about you are the one taken care of. It's like a garden that has been given to you. God wants you to tend it. He said you present it to yourself. A church without spot or wrinkle. So the marking point for any man to know whether you're a good husband is how good and well and beautiful your wife looks. How happy she is. So it's not authority. Many men think being the head means authority. I eat 3 pieces of meat in this house. I'm the head. No. Whatever I say, it stands. That's not what being the head means. It's not about authority. It's about responsibility. You are in charge of everybody, of their well-being. You are in charge of them being their best. Ask my wife, I'm her biggest coach, her biggest fan. I'm the one always pushing her. I'm looking for all her gifts. She has so many ministries and gifts. My job is to make sure that in this lifetime, she becomes the best she can be. That's what being the head is. It's not about domineering the other person. That's not what it's about. It's about cultivating. Husband, man. It's from husbandry. You're cultivating. Weeding, watering. Protecting, cultivating. See, because you're going to present as a man, your report card is your wife. You're going to present it. Hallelujah. It's your project. When you do project university, you come and do presentation. That's what your wife is. You present her without spot or wrinkle. You present her. I don't know if someone's getting what I'm saying. You present her. So if she's fighting, find out why she's fighting. What's upsetting her? Are you cultivating her? And women too, look for a man that can cultivate you. Those are the signs you look for. Is he always selfish, always me? And he's not looking at you, he's not looking at your gifts. I have a message titled, How to Know If He or She Really Loves You. Unfortunately, we can't do all those ones in this trip. There are ways to know if a guy loves you. Is he cultivating? Is he interested in something outside your body? Is he interested in your mind? Is he interested in your future? Has he ever asked you what your dreams are? Because that's what it means to be responsible for another human being. Submission. It's not slavery. It's not dominance. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So what do you know about marriage? Knowing. Under knowing, another thing you must know is that marriage is a covenant. It's a covenant. It's not just a union. It's not just an agreement. It's not a worldly arrangement. It's a covenant. In the covenant, the two become one. So you no longer exist as individuals. The day I married my wife. Because the Bible said two shall be. That phrase, one flesh, means one person. And that phrase is a covenant term. And the day you understand that, every other thing about marriage will make sense. If you try to attack or address the concept of marriage without the covenant mindset, a lot of things will look wicked. Will look dangerous. Hallelujah. The day I married my wife, the person called Kingsley ceased to exist. The person called Mildred ceased to exist. We now became Milk. Or Kindred. Kindred. Somebody getting this? From that day, God sees us as Kindred. No longer as Kingsley, no longer as Mildred, now as one person. He said the two shall become one. If you understand that, 99% of questions you're going to ask about marriage will be answered. If you understand it. That's why marriage is so holy, so precious. Unfortunately for us, the devil is constantly trying to make it look useless, make it look common, make it look casual. That's why people are entering and coming out. In fact, in one part of the world, they are starting 2 years trial marriage now. Many men will like that one. It's like house rent. After 2 years, it will expire. I changed location. So you just marrying somebody for 2 years. Let's see how it goes. After 2 years, nah, it's not working. That sounds good to men. Doesn't sound good to women because, after a while, some men will be asking, how many, are you fairly used or unfairly used? Used. Somebody getting what I'm saying? It's a covenant. The two become one. Inseparably one. So, When people ask me, oh, pastor, is it right for my husband to check my phone, my wife to check my phone? You have already missed you are in even the wrong exam hall. Not even just the question, the whole exam is wrong. Because if the two of you are one, it's not my phone. Did you understand this? That's why, because some people say, I want some privacy inside marriage. Then you don't understand what we're saying. He said they were both naked. The man and his wife. What they mean is that they had nothing to hide, nothing covered. Inside marriage, there is no privacy. I have a message actually 7 things you lose when you marry. Privacy is one of them. You lose it. It doesn't exist for you again. Between you and that person you married. Say, I have money. My money. My mother needs money. And my wife needs money. Who should I give to, my mother or my wife? Wrong exam. Because your money is our money. It's our money. It's our mother. So our mother needs our money. That's what covenant is. Two people becoming one. He said, my wife, we've had a joint account forever. I don't even know. It's not, some people don't trust their spouse with their money. Say, hey! Because I always, on my TV program, I always say that I go everywhere with my wife. It's only rare occasions, just separate. We're always together most times. So one man met me at a mall. He said, Pastor, you say you're always with your wife. Where is she? Because I was standing alone. He said, where is she? I said, actually, she's buying something, in the next store or something. And he said, instinctively, he didn't even think. He said, you left her alone with you without the money. He said, because women, if you give them all your money, they will spend it. No, that's not true. Women are visionaries. Yeah. Some men just don't know how to marry well. Women, see, if I give her money, she will spend it on you. No. What you need to do, 2 things. If you think your wife sends anyhow, number 1, budget for the things she likes. If she's spending carelessly, it's probably because you never take care of her. Budget for what she likes. A woman will need more things than a man. We are not the same. Number 2, paint a picture of what we are doing with the money. Once she catches the vision, and the vision includes how, not I want to buy a sports car. That's not the vision. If the vision includes her, she's the one that will even drive the vision more than you. So, 2 things. Take care of her needs. You and your wife can't have the same shopping money. That's wrong. You can't. Women need more things than men. Women. Me, this trip I came for, I brought 2 brown shoes. I brought about 5 or 6 pairs of shoes. 2 brown shoes. A woman's blue. If a woman says I need blue shoes, it's not just one blue. She needs turquoise blue, light blue, sky blue, blue. Then after the blue, you think it has ended. They'll say, no, open toe, high heel. Inside the same blue. That's just one blue. Then they'll go to red. They'll go to gold. Men need only 2 shoes. One black, one brown. Finish. There's nothing you want to wear that can't tight. And the black, you make it almost like boots. So you can wear it with jeans, wear with native, wear with suits. Black. One black. Men need only 1 soap. 1 bar soap. Wash body, wash hair, wash clothes, wash car. Same soap. Same soap. For women, the soap for hair. It's not only soap for face. It's not only soap for body. It's not only soap for hand. And this how they also have cream. Cream for hair. Different from cream for face. Different from cream for hand. Different from cream for body. So her needs are not your needs. You can't go shopping with the same amount of money. Somebody get what I'm saying? If you have sons and daughters, the way you take care of a daughter is not how you take care of a son. Needs are different. So when a woman seems to be spending too much, you need to make sure, is she really spending too much? Or it's just that she's not being well taken care of. The budget should show that her needs. Men, haircut, 500 naira, 1,000 naira. For the year. We are done. A woman, the only thing 1,000 naira can do is to enter bike. To go where you are buying the other things. 1,000 naira doesn't do anything for a woman's hair. It's just transport to the venue. Where we now first buy the hair. Now set, then reset. Then touch, then retouch. The same hair. I just tell my wife, just touch it at once. Why are we touching and retouching? Touch it now. I can touch it for you at home. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So our budget is not the same. So women are powerful. Just make sure you take care of them. Make sure you take care of them. Then set the vision. Oh, honey, we're saving to buy our own house. You see, look. This is how you set it, guys. Listen. Say, look, I've been wanting for you to have a walking wardrobe where you have all your shoes lined up, all your clothes lined up. That's why we're saving, so that we can buy a house or build a house. That you have your own swimming pool. You have your own bathtub where you can soak in the bathtub with candle, scented candles. My brother, she will start saving from that. Let's start saving. This house must come. She will save more than you. You don't do anything. She will save more than you. But instead, most of your dreams are selfish. She's not included, so she has to take care of herself because you're not taking care of her. Share the dream. If you want to buy a car, you will paint the picture. Don't say how to buy a car. Sports car, convertible, 15 valve, turbo charge. All this don't make sense to any woman. Tell her, honey, convertible, 2 seats, me and you. After work, some evening Sundays, we'll just drop the top, me and you, we'll take a drive and talk. And I want to treat you. I'll take you cruise. Sell it to her. Not a turbo charge, 13 valve. V6. If you like, be V100. I don't know what you're talking about. Sell the idea. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? Men and women are different. So you can't say, I don't trust myself with my money. We have separate. See, once you start separating things like money, and I understand, I'm not saying you must implement this immediately, because some of you, the background you already come from, you need to address it. But the concept of God is that two becomes one. Nothing should be separate. And money is one of the things that separates people the most. Do you know there's no decision you can make without money? So the moment you separate your money, what it means is that you started separating your decision making. If both of us have to do something together from the same account, I have to talk to you about it. But you see, if I have my own money, it means I will think some things and do it without even telling you. And if you're getting the picture. See, when you're saying becoming one, you are one first together spiritually, but the practical becoming one is something you have to be doing. So if I have my own money, it means I can do many things without telling my wife. I can just wake up and do it. If the money is together, and we both receive a lot, or both of us need to agree for the money to go out, then I'm forced to even share what I'm thinking. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. So we've always had a joint account forever. And I didn't have time for this yesterday. There's so many things I want to cover, but no time. One of the benefits of marriage is that agreement. What two shall agree on earth as touching anything shall be established. There's nothing I and my wife have agreed about that has not happened. Nothing. Except we have not agreed about. Once we agree about it, and that's the beauty of marriage. You have a partner, a prayer partner, a faith partner. Once we agree about it, it's done. No matter what it was. Are you here, somebody? So you guys say, I don't trust my money. I want to keep my money aside. And I'm laughing at people. You want to keep your money safe, but you give your life to your spouse. One woman was having a bath. She ran out with soap on her body and towel. Boah! They said, what happened? Say, her husband is in the room and she left her wardrobe open. That's why she ran out. To go and lock her wardrobe. Because her money is there. And I'm laughing. I say, you want to protect your money, but you don't want to protect yourself. For you to marry this person, you don't know what it means that you've given yourself to this person. I watch a lot of crime stuff in America. The first suspect whenever his spouse dies is the husband or the wife. So that person you want to marry can kill you. So you are okay to risk your life, but you want to keep your money safe. So in your mind, your money is of more value than even you. You can't give him your money, but you give him yourself. Covenant exposes you because this is the first person that can kill you. He lives with you. All he needs to be is a patient or a canayo. They will kill you. Okay, no, you don't know how to read people. If you don't know these people, it's okay. Praise God. Let me end with this. My time is already up. But you give me 2 more minutes, so let me end with this. There's so many things. Like I said, I've not even touched any of my notes. Let me end with this one for this word today. Yielding. I'll end with this, yielding. Listen, if you're going to make marriage work, then you must yield. You must yield to the Holy Spirit. Romans chapter 5 verse 5. It says, the love of God has been shed abroad in your hearts. What they're saying is that, look, you can't do this thing by natural love. Natural love is fickle. Natural love dies. Natural love is like flowers. Grows fast, is beautiful, and also dies quickly. But the supernatural love of God is like a iroko tree, like a strong tree. Might grow slowly, but is constant, stable. Survives the winds and the storms. Is deep-rooted. Are you here, somebody? So you must yield. Let that love of God, let God help you love. Some of you are in a marriage right now, you think, can I ever love this man? Can I ever love this woman? You can. You have to just yield. Let the Holy Spirit take over. Once He takes over, He empowers you to love like He loves. That's what I mean by the love of God has been shed abroad into your heart. God has poured out. That's what I say. God has poured out His kind of love inside you. So you are now on a cruise. You're no more loving with human love. You're not loving with the love of the Spirit. Yield to the Holy Ghost. Oh, it changed my marriage. Men especially, listen. It changed you to be listening to. God didn't want you to go alone. He knows you can't love that woman the way you should love her in your power. He knows you can't love that man the way you should love him in your power. So He gave us a helper, the Holy Spirit. He doesn't only empower you to love, He teaches you to love. I can never forget, Pastor, many years ago, I went to work and came back. My wife cooked one bad soup for me, man. She's the one that made me fat. I'm just trying to lose the weight. See, blame her. Men blame. That's all we do. We blame somebody. Somebody must take the blame. It's not me. She cooked one bad soup for me. Those early years in marriage. I got him, I was eating the soup. The soup was very stoned. She used to cook like that for me so much. That time. Made me fat. Everywhere. The food, everything was jamming. As I was eating it, the Holy Ghost said, give her out of your fish. The dried fish. I said, look, Holy Spirit. Number one, she's the one that cooked the soup. If she's looking for fish, she knows where fish is. She's the owner of the soup. She's the custodian of the soup. No, there's no need for this harassment, Holy Spirit. Allow me to eat this food in peace. While I was yet arguing, my wife said, honey, give me out of your fish. And let me tell you, to say I was planning to, in the world of women, I was planning to is zero. You either do it or you don't. Planning to. Zero. You know that zero that has eyes and Odo? They call it Odo in Lagos. My wife just said, honey, give me out of your fish. Some days I'll be in the office. The Holy Ghost said, just call your wife now. I said, let me just finish this text. Let me just finish this note. I'll call her after it. While I'm doing the note, she will call me. I said, I was planning to. Planning to. This one happened about 1 year or 2 years ago. We had one discussion that was very tough. So we're in the car. I was sitting in front because I like sitting in front. So there was a guy driving us. I was in front. She was at the back. So she was sending me a message about something that she didn't like. And as she sent that message, the Holy Ghost gave me the reply. He said, say, oh, I'm sorry, baby. That's the reply the Holy Ghost gave me. You knowing me in these few days, you know that's not what I did. I said I'm a teacher of the word. If I explain, some of you, there are times the Holy Ghost said you don't reply, but you feel you can convince the person. If I explain, you will understand. And you find out that the more you talk, the more angry they become. The Holy Ghost knows your spouse more than you. He gave me the answer to reply. I said no, I have to reply every sentence. Word for word. So I gave my own long reply. Well worded. It didn't help. Things escalated. Later, we're not talking about it. She now said, you know that time I sent you that message? That's what my wife said. She said, what I expected you to say was, oh, I'm sorry, baby. The exact words. I just faced my front. The first time she heard this story was me preaching. I didn't tell her that day. that, that was exact words. I mean, it's the most incredible thing. Exact words that she said was what the Holy Ghost told me to say. But I used my own human wisdom. It didn't work well. Any marriage can be repaired if you can yield. If you can yield. The problem that breaks marriage is not really the problem. It's the lack of yieldedness. That selfishness, that ego. And your feelings are so deceitful. They can make you feel, no, I can never take it. Trust me, it's like injection. When they want to give you, it's painful. But the end result will be good for you. The pain will go. That pain that looks like, they will break my body. I will never go. It will go. And then the benefits of it, you will start enjoying it. The pain will go, the benefits will stay. Do you want to be yielded today? Some of you, the person you are dating, if you are yielded, God will tell you this is not the person you should marry. It's going to save you pain in years to come. My wife will share some of her story when she comes in the evening. She was in a relationship for 5 years before I came. 5 years. They had done introduction. And God told her the man you are with is not your husband. If you yield, God knows better than you. Can we lift our hands and say, Lord, we yield today. You are the master. You are the master architect. You know more than we know. You know our spouses. You know our future husband. You know where we should even be to be found. We know where it is we can find that man or woman of our dreams. Lord, we yield today. Just go ahead and take 1 minute and just surrender yourself to God. That's where victory is. Some people think we have a right to fight Satan. No, the principle is submit yourself to God. Then resist the devil. You don't start from resisting the devil. He will kill you. But when you submit to God, then you can go and resist. You must yield. You can't change that problem in your house by your own power. You can't avenge disobedience until your own obedience is complete. Lord, we yield ourselves to you this morning. Move in our hearts. Help us take charge of our emotions. One of the prayers my wife always prays that, Lord, bypass my emotions. My wife always prays that, Lord, bypass my emotions and do what is right for me. Holy Spirit, take charge this morning. Heal hearts. Give clear directions. Give redirections. Masoto baradesita. Ruzatakliatos. Radabakaze. There's somebody afraid that will I ever find the right person. The right person is close to you. If you yield to the Holy Ghost, He will show you. He will position you. He will open your eyes. He knows where the person you're looking for is. Trust me. Mahande rebo sakaya. Rita bakali gadazdo. You need to put yourself to sleep. That's how Adam found his wife. He went to sleep. When you are sleeping, you are submitted. You are not arguing. I pray for that emotional sleep, that physical sleep, so that God can carry out His plan for your life. Nobody does a major surgery awake. You must be asleep for God to work on you. You must stop resisting the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. We are yielded to you. You will bring the best out of our lives. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen. Come on, give the Lord a big hand.
What a time this morning. If you have been as blessed as I have been, and it has been as rewarding for you as it has been for me, please put your hand together one more time. Please be seated. Please be seated. You know, one of the scriptures that really haunts me is that scripture that we use when we share communion. It says, for this reason, many of you are sick and many sleep. And it was talking about the sleep of death. It said, because we do not correctly discern the body of Christ. And for a long time, I thought he was talking about discerning the body of Christ as it concerns the communion table. And we can use that as application. But I thought about it, and a few of my friends, I've shared with them, and they have corroborated it in different spaces. I thought about it, and I'm like, of a truth, many will be sick, and many will die if we do not correctly discern the body of Christ. Because everything that we need for life and godliness is in the body of Christ. The body prospers by that every joint supplies. There are different graces in the body of Christ. And if you were insecure as a leader, your people will not develop balanced in a balanced way. Because all you will give them is all that you are able to supply as that joint. If you do not expose them to what the other joints can supply, you will have a limping church. A church that can't stand on its 2 feet. It's the reason I tell people, all these things that we do in the body of Christ, they should line all of us and be beating us from now to next year so that we have sense. There are graces for excellence. There are graces for power. If you face only excellence and you don't expose your people to power, they will think it is only principles that run the kingdom and not understand that there are some things that only God can do. If you expose them only to power, they will be lazy and useless in their place of work because they will think everything comes by miracle. I have been on this journey for a long. I can tell some prayers are stupid and useless. Common sense will solve your problem. It's the same thing with the graces for teachings like this that equip marriages. Not everybody has those insights. There is only wisdom that we are exposed to a plethora of giftings so that this house can be balanced. I don't know about you, but I know grace when I see it. This is grace at work. Oh, you can do better than that. You can do better than that. Thank you, man of God. The simplicity which you teach, the level of applications. I was talking to somebody late last night, and I'm saying, the thing that intrigues me is he gives you an example and you get it. Because you can substitute. You don't understand. Just put yourself, it's not dy dx. Just put yourself as X. And you're like, hey! Now maybe that, now me. You see? I hope you got something this morning. Please put your hand together one more time. Wait, stop clapping. I know Burna Boy is in town. If you like, go to Burna Boy. Live your marriage, live your future. He will come, he will go. Possibly win another Grammy. The suffer that you will... I am not a prophet of doom, but at times it's important that we help people understand priorities and what is important. The levity with which a class of Christians handle their destiny is such that it's not prayer that you need flogging. Because I don't understand how you can weigh entertainment and revelation, and entertainment has more value. You will feel whatever you want to feel in that moment. But revelation lasts you a lifetime. Because some of you are here, the reason we want to leave early is, I need to get in there early. Now, free concert. Okay, have you put gate fee? I know you will know. See, tonight, you don't want to. I'm going to let them answer the questions I asked. I won't ask the third one. I'll let them take on those two very quickly so that we can close for this morning session. But this morning has been so rich. I don't write. In fact, I stopped writing. I just told myself, I'll just download the message so I can listen and listen. Because every line, that's the good thing. I listen to. As in the talk, I just say, this one line here, a message. This one line here, I feel pretty serious. You know me now? Yeah. Each line, na rema. It a break from my head. I say, hey! The application, come on now. Let me tell you. You will hear my version. You know that? You will hear my version. Okay. So, tonight you don't want to be anywhere but here. Come in early so that after their sessions they can now take your questions. See, I've been at this thing for a while, and I'm telling you, questions are the best way to quickly pinpoint something and answer everybody. Because what they worry you where you carry for mind, is worrying other people who are sitting beside you. So once you ask on our behalf, say, Anna, please. You are the person. All right? So be here early. And as he has announced, Pastor Mildred will be taking the evening session. You don't want to miss it. And then, this Pastor Kingsley is a wicked person. In a good way. I like he's dropping snippets for tomorrow morning. He say, this is tomorrow morning. I say, tomorrow morning. Fortunately, tomorrow morning we're going to have only two services instead of 3. So that they can have more time. Okay? So, if I were you, we will give priority to people that have booked. So go and book. I will show up. Well, you see that our church? This is our church. It is our church, but there is order. So I'm going to encourage you, do the booking. And now don't say, I have booked. I will come 30 minutes inside the service. Trust me. I will be outside. I'm cooking up preaching tomorrow. I'm doing usher work. I will be outside. 10 minutes after we open service, we will let whoever we see to enter. I say, but I booked. Pastor said that if we book, we'll be here early. Booking is not licensed for lateness. Amen. Thank you very much for your usual understanding. In furtherance of the service, we will now go to the question and answer session. And I'm going to ask that our absolutely phenomenal guest please come to the podium. Please, once again, put your hands together for Pastor Kingsley and Pastor Mildred Okonkwo. Please put your hands together for Kindred. It's a music group. Kindred, please. Please be seated. So, like I said, the first question is, no, I'm just repeating the same question. The first question is, what will you say to a woman who is stuck, and I will ask him to, or a man who is stuck in a sexless marriage? 2-3 years, and there is no sexual intimacy. Do you advise them to stay, or do you advise them to walk?
Is this mic on? Okay, sir. So I'll submit to you, sir. As the head of our home, sir. First.
Can't want me this one.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Pastor Larry, for the opportunity. Thank you. I think that the problem is that's not the real problem. Because not having sex is just an offshoot of the real issues. So if we're asking them to break the marriage just on the fact that they don't have sex, that would be bad counsel. So we need to sit down and find out what the real issues are. Are they friends? Are we having a great relationship, just talking, but we're not sexually attracted to each other? If we're not sexually attracted to each other, has it always been? Did it just start? Was it after kids? Are there kids? Is it that things have just gone cold? So if it's that things have gone cold and they're still friends, but it's just that there's either no time or we just don't feel amorous towards each other. Yeah, that happens. There are cases 2-3 years. Cases we're dealing with like 2-3 years. So it depends, maybe children. If you've had a baby, usually a woman knows that your life is shut down for at least a minimum of 2 years because the child is hanging on to you for 2 years. So she may easily forget that the man needs her as well. In fact, at some point, that almost happened. Not sexually. It just almost happened that I was paying a lot of attention to my son. When I had my last baby, he was always with us, always, and boys are different from girls. Boys eat more than girls, so he was constant, and I do, exclusive. So at some point, my husband just came one day and said, today this boy is moving to the next room.
I drive him. Move, my friend. When you marry a woman, you can be sucking forever. Not here. My friend, move. Your time, your rent is over.
And the honest truth was I didn't notice. I didn't notice that I was giving him so much attention. Because, he's a boy, so he would constantly be between us. He was family planning. So I was not really thinking about that. Yes, if we wanted to have sex, of course, yes, I would send him away. But for a few minutes, before he's back, my husband said, I know as I pay for this wife, this boy cannot come out. When he marry, he go and do anyhow. So I had to, him telling me made me more conscious. So I had to have him start sleeping with someone in the next room. Then maybe in the middle of the night I express those kind of things. But I now started paying more attention. I was now conscious. But that's because our friendship was still at a very good level. So we could talk. We're talking. He would tease me about it sometimes. That, this boy don't come. You don't get boyfriend now. Things like that. It started dropping. So, like I said, I don't think it's just the sex. Are they still friends? Then if it is just that, we're friends, but there's just no time, then we have to consciously make time. Intimacy doesn't just happen. It's something that you have to work out. You have to be intentional about intimacy. It's not just going to happen. The way you felt about each other the first year might not be the way you feel about each other 3 years down the line. It will definitely not be the way you feel about each other when they're kids. You'll be tired. If you have young children, you'll be very tired all the time. You are doing homework, you're answering questions. And if you married a man who is not hands-on, you're going to do it all alone. So, of course, in the night, you want to sleep. Then you now come and put hand on your back and say, honey, I won't sleep. I better no verse. So I think that is something that they have to be intentional about. So, like I said, there are a lot of other questions we need to ask to be able to really answer this question. But of course, Pastor K has the Spirit of God at deeper levels, so maybe there are things he knows that.
Was it a woman that asked the question? Yes. It was just trying to, but I think it was a woman that asked the question. Okay. Interestingly, it's not an uncommon case at all. But really, like my wife said, to give a good answer, we need more information. Has it always been like that? There are cases we've dealt with where it has always been like that. So there's no bringing back to where we used to be. There was nothing we used to be. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. There's some cases where, we had a great sex life, then it has waned. So what we're now trying to do in this case is bring them back to what was exciting them then that needs to excite them now. Do you understand? But if there's nothing to bring us back to, we never existed, then that's a problem that has been long existing. So it's either the guy has generally a low libido. There are some people that have incredibly low libido. So that might need some medical assistance in terms of getting his libido back up. All right, there are drugs for that, and they're experts on that. So you need to get his libido back. Now, if it's that libido was good, but now he feels she has added weight, he feels she has added weight, or for some reason he's not just attracted, then we need to go into what do you term attraction? What is going on in that man's life? Is he watching porn? Is he focusing on something else? Because the way life works, and this is why all the things in the Bible, they are not laws for God. They are laws to protect us. When God said don't watch pornography, it's not because God doesn't want you to have cruise. is because that watching pornography also damages some other aspects of your life that you can't change. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So if you're watching pornography, what that means is that you will start to lose attraction for your spouse. Because you are gaining, your attraction is one. If you're focusing it on these models that are not real, you can't focus the same attraction on your wife that is real, that has given birth to 4 children. Her body is not going to be like this woman's, so these women have not given birth, or at least they are cosmetic. Somebody getting what I'm saying? So there are many things we'll look at. Is he involving, that man is not having sex, is he like he's not having sex anywhere at all? Because some men, this is why the men are having sex at home. Because they're having sex somewhere. So there are too many factors that we need to look at. And do they even have a marriage outside of this sex? There was somebody I counseled. I do virtual counseling globally. So there are people that book sessions to do counseling. There was somebody that got cancer from abroad. She says she has been married for a short time, 1 or 2 years. And the husband doesn't want to have sex with her. Doesn't have sex. We were talking so much about sex. Meanwhile, in the other conversation with the counseling, she was mentioning that the man has gay tendencies. The man also is cheating. Many other things. And I said, you seem to be more concerned about him having sex with you. What you need to be concerned about is these other things going on. Is things going on that is affecting the sex. Sex is not the problem. You are concerned about. So I was trying to get that. So is it that if he has sex with you, he can go ahead with these other things? Because I could see that they didn't have a marriage. They were not talking. They were not working together. The man was not bringing money home. He was making contact with other girls. He was even making contact with guys and male dating apps. So I said, you have a bigger problem. Him sleeping with you is not a problem.
Smallest problem.
It's the smallest part of the problem. So most of the time we're focused on the symptoms, not on the sickness. Fever is symptom. There's something causing the fever. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. If we treat the fever, it will come back again because the real thing causing it is there. So if there's no marriage, in some cases there's no marriage. It's not sex, they don't have marriage. But if they have a marriage, and the issue is that the guy is not just sexual, oh, that is good. We'll build on whatever is causing it because there's a marriage. There's some cases where there's no marriage. They are not talking. They are not working together. They don't know, nothing is going on. No marriage. Sex is not our problem. No marriage. So if it's no marriage, if it's a serious case of no marriage, in those kind of cases, there are very few times people have no choice but to live a marriage. It's not something we encourage. It's not something we pray for. But the truth is that there are times when that's your option. It might be tough, but the honest truth is that I can't tell somebody to stay permanently in something that is sinking. You know, at the end of the day, it might affect the person's. See people commit suicide, people kill, and some people, the children they even raise because they stayed in something they shouldn't have stayed in. Those ones now also go out and wreak havoc again because those children too are not well, you know, they're also affected by that. So it takes more details, Sha. That's what we're saying, to get to the crux of the matter. I hope that was helpful a bit.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. My second question, and you know, I'm just remembering all the other questions that people have been asking over time. So, is I don't like him. When we are married, we are already here. But there's been too much pain, too much hurt, too much betrayal. I am in this place where I have accepted and made peace. I don't like him. I don't like her. Why is the church still asking us to remain married? This is not love now. This is, I don't even like you. Talk less of to love you. Because of where I'm at now. Why can't church just accept that when people get to this point, they are free to walk away?
No, that's not what I'm looking at. It's interesting. I was just thinking, is it really easier to like a person or to love them? I think it's easier to love a person than to like them. That's what was playing in my head, really, because I don't necessarily have to like you to be patient with you or to be kind to you or to ignore all the evil things you do to me. I don't necessarily have to like you. I think liking someone is the hard part. Because liking you means I want to be with you. I want to be around you. I want to spend time with you. I want to be a part of your life. I want to be sure that everything is okay with you. So usually when people have gotten to that stage, like we've said from the very beginning, it's an intimacy issue. I don't know why it seems to always come back there. Most people do marriage. And by doing marriage, what I mean is they have this picture of two people get married, we have children, we raise them. I'll come and say, have you paid rent? Because rent is almost due. They say, have you cooked? Okay, give me money, chop money. Let me go and buy ingredients. Then you give me, I say it's not enough. Then, school fees. We don't have a relationship. We don't have a proper relationship. We don't hang out. We don't have things we like together. We don't have things, we don't spend time together. We don't communicate. We don't gist. Like, what makes a marriage really worth it and what makes two people want to be together is that intimacy that they've built over time. Now, if there's real intimacy, even if someone offends you, it's kind of easier to get over it. With intimacy, you can overcome anything. You can overcome infidelity. And I know this because I'm an infidelity recovery coach. I've seen people who have, the husband has cheated with many girls. Many. Or the wife has cheated many times. And the guy, because this is my friend, I'm weighing what we have over what this person has done. And as far as the person is willing to work at changing, they've submitted themselves to the process of recovery and all the many things they're expected to do. I think I can stay. And then I can make it work. As opposed to someone who their husband cheated on them. And I'm not belittling anyone's pain, whether one or half or emotional, it still has the same effect. They walk away. You hear a lot of, like you say, I can't. And I phone and say they talk that rubbish. I can't. So I think the real problem, most times, I'm trying not to get into my message this evening, but the problem most times is that lack of intimacy. And it is usually sometimes from the beginning. If you check, how did that marriage start? Maybe somebody introduced them. Maybe it's just friendship. And I know that there are a lot of things that people can do to destroy a good person. I know people who I genuinely like my husband, but he has been doing these things and he's not willing to change. I know that can deteriorate. But I think that if we try to maintain intimacy in marriage, that friendship, there are things that your friends have done to you that you let go of. But when somebody is not your friend, and maybe when we say friend, people don't really get that. Maybe because a lot of people don't do friendship well too. Because friendship, somebody is really your friend. Worst case, when they finish annoying you, say, man, no, just talk, just come home, eat. You will get over it quickly. But when somebody's not your friend, anything they do will pain you more than normal. Your friend can tell you, say, see your head. And you say your head, you will take it. But if somebody who's not your friend tells you something that is not even as bad, they say, see your head. You say, my head? Why would they say, see my head? Is there something about my head? Did someone talk about my head? What did they hear about me? You will start thinking what they didn't say because there's no relationship. So if you're not a voice in someone's life, it's hard for people to accept things from you. So in this case, because I don't go Sokoto, come back to Jos, now we're going to Plateau, PORTHARCOURT. In this case, we need to find out what has happened, where they were from the beginning. Like all these cases, they're really counseling issues. And counseling is not just what I'll tell you here. They're sessions. This person probably needs at least a minimum of 6 to 12 sessions for us to hear what's really going on. When people tell you things, it's not really what they're telling you. There's always so much more under. So we need to get the details. What has this person done? Why do you think it's so hard for you to accept?
Did you like him before? And John like him now?
Yeah, exactly.
Or you never liked him from day one?
Exactly. Or this person did this and you're thinking, this is what my dad did to my mom, and I vowed that when my mother was going through this, I will never take this from anybody. So you are fighting on behalf of your mother. It's not even your marriage that you're fighting. It's not your husband. It's your mother's fight. You are fighting your father on her behalf. So there's so much. And so I'm really wary of just giving random counsel here and say, you know what, just walk away. Or you know what, just watch a few movies together. Just tell each other sorry and move on. And that's what they do a lot in the body of Christ. And I think...
Just tell yourself sorry.
Yes, and I think that it's a major problem.
Yes.
You have couples who should not, they're toxic. They shouldn't be in the same room, talkers of the same marriage. And they say, just tell each other sorry. Christ forgave you, forgive one another. The thing where you do me cry, I not do Christ. Why? So we need to get to that point where, so we say, make I preach this night. But like, you go see something. So we need to get to that point where we actually really start to face the facts now. Let's talk. Get people in a room talking. you will see the things that will come out. Beyond all the, this is what he did, okay, we're done with what he did. What is the real issue? No, but of course, next level, sir.
No, you're absolutely right. Pastor Larry and Pastor Larry were discussing it yesterday about our counseling training school we want to set up. Because, to be honest, Pastor Larry, some of the worst advice I've had to readdress came from pastors. Yeah. Just tell people, tell yourself sorry and go back home. It doesn't work like that. Some cases you can solve some cases like that, but the cases that have reached you, like to your table, usually, it's not that kind of case. You have to go to the roots. What's the problem? Where did it start? How long has this problem been? You know, not just tell yourself sorry. I've seen many pastors try to push cases where, and sadly, there are times I've cancelled when I've had to tell them to go their separate ways. You know, it's not something I like to do, but there are some times that if I say otherwise, I'll be lying. If I tell them to go back home together, I'll be telling them lies. Because I know that this is a disaster waiting to happen. Somebody's going to die there.
Somebody will die. Usually
somebody's not going to make it. Yeah. So, you know, and there are times where people have been stringed along emotionally. You know, we had a case we had to close. We had to have a meeting with both families and end the marriage in my office. The guy would just disappear. The prayer warrior. Disappear. He would join all the prayer platforms online. But he will neglect his wife. Then when he needs something, after 6 months, he'll come back, collect money from her.
And disappear again.
Have sex with her a few times. Make her make some ambiguous spending here and there and disappear again. And I knew he was going to be doing this for the rest of his life and keep that girl, young girl, hanging. I said, look, you're young. You can quickly correct this mistake and move on. I said, end this thing. Okay, you can't be going back and forth like this. It was just a joker. It was just a joker. Trying to use her. And these same people, when we were trying to get them to do counseling before marriage, the guy was the one saying, he doesn't need counseling. He can't wait. He wants to marry. And they had already made plans that if we didn't agree to wedding, we were going to wed on that place. He was going to marry by force. Now, the story is long. I don't want to go into it. But the point is that there are cases where we had to sit down and know that this problem, to pretend that, tell yourself sorry, and go back home, is going to solve it. It's not. All right. There are cases where we've seen sexless marriages from the beginning. Not that... Yeah. Not that we're having, it has been sexless from day one. And it's now 3 years. And the problem is clear. You know, many, I don't want to give too much details of people's cases, but, you know, the point is that there are many cases, Sha, that when you sit down and look at the indices, you know that, you know, the only way God can work in any case, but the people must be ready. If they are not ready, you know, there's nothing anybody can do. And one person shouldn't be suffering eternally, okay? We don't usually get to break up or separate quickly, but there are times we eventually get there. And there's what is called normal separation and controlled separation. All right? So controlled separation is where we are all still mindful of this marriage and we are still working on this. Separation is for us to go and walk. Yes, for a time and for us to go and work on ourselves. It's not that we are just separating for separating sake and we can cruise with other people, no. So there's normal separation, there's control separation. There are many things, but
supervision.
Yes, so supervision. So the point is that in most of these cases, it will need a sit down and some investigation as to why we are here. You know, why don't you like this guy again? Is it something? Did you like him before and he did something? If it's that kind of case, then we can retrace the steps, get you to forgive, get you to let go, get you to heal, and you find that you can love them. Your emotions, like I told you today, your emotions are in your control. They are not the one controlling you. Just like we human beings sometimes we like to submit to our emotions. But the Bible says he that has no control or rule over his spirit is like a city broken down without walls. So sometimes we want to submit to our emotions. But that's not how God intended. God wants us to control our emotions. So you can be there now, but with healing and good therapy, you can get to the stage where you like that man again and even love that man again.